What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back to my banner review series for Fire Emblem Heroes. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Muspell Banner featuring Laegjarn, Laevatein and Helbindi, and these are the topics I'm going to be discussing in this video. So let us begin.
Resist and perish.
Laegjarn is a fast flying tank with incredible 36 base defense and high 39 speed, with new equipped of course, and her high defense makes her a red Baruka essentially, who's fast enough to avoid doubles and has better attack. Her base attack is average at 32 and her resistance is really bad, and she will get one shot by a lot of mages and struggle against dragons. She even has a super boon in resistance, which is going to be hurting her a lot, but it is definitely her perfect bane because res is the most dumpable stat on her stat line, and she can be compared to New Year's Camilla. They both have pretty similar stat line, but Laegjarn is much bulkier and also has a legendary weapon, which is quite powerful against buffed foes, and New Year's Camilla does have better resistance, and in my opinion Laegjarn is better than New Year's Camilla. Laegjarn comes with new, a legendary weapon that gives her plus 3 speed and adds 50% of the sum of the bonuses on the foe to all of her stats. For example, if your opponent has got plus 6 to all of their stats with something like Cone Cavalry and Fortify Cavalry or even Tactic skills, then the sum of their total buffs is 24 and the half of that is 12. So Laegjarn gets plus 12 to all of her stats except for HP, and these stats are in combat buffs, meaning that you can stack these up with something like Fire Emblem buffs and any sort of visible buffs and give her even more in combat buffs from drives and spur skills. So this makes her really strong, and this is the best case scenario essentially where you're going to be facing an enemy who's fully buffed, and this is the max power she can get out of new. Now another example of this is that say your opponent only has plus 6 defense from something like defense tactic sacred seal, which is definitely much possible than having full emblem buffs. So here the enemy has got 6 total buffs and half of that is 3, so Laegjarn gets 3 to all of her stats. So Laegjarn punishes foes for getting buffs and gets much stronger against these kinds of foes. Now you could definitely say that this weapon is situational, and it is because you cannot really control the buffs on the enemy like you could with something like Gunthra's Blizzard Tome, where you could just debuff the enemy. It is definitely situational, but the thing is that it's really relevant in arena because we have got defense tactic, res tactic seals, attack tactic is also pretty easily available on 4-star Legault. Not to mention wave skills are getting really popular, and we also have these power crept rally skills like rally speed defense plus, which Quan has, which gives the opponent plus 6 to their speed and defense. So with these kinds of buffing skills being really popular in arena, it's definitely relevant. Some people might already know about this, but still I'm going to be mentioning because you should know about this if you're going to be using Laegjarn. So you want to take a look at how Laegjarn interacts with Panic Ploy. Now here we have got this Michaelis who's completely buffed in all of his stats, and Laegjarn does this much damage to him. And now I'm going to be using my Ardent to Panic Ploy this Michaelis, and because of Panic Ploy all of his bonuses have been converted into penalties, so Laegjarn actually does less damage with new on a unit who has got Panic Ployed. So you definitely do not want to use her with allies who can use Panic Ploy because that will just clash with her news effect and how it functions, and Laegjarn is going to be depriving herself from extra damage if you're going to be running Panic Ploy, because Panic Ploy simply converts all of the bonuses of foes into penalties. And another interaction that you might be curious about is about debuffs, and I've got my Deirdre who has got Speed Ploy and Attack Ploy, and Michaelis is going to be getting all of the emblem buffs, but he's also going to be receiving the debuffs. His debuffs do not erase his buffs, and because he still has the buffs, you're going to be getting extra damage with new and Laegjarn. So as you saw, Panic Ploy does clash with her weapon and debuffs do not. And now let's get back to her. She comes with Bonfire as a special. Now this can of course be taken as a meme, but it's actually a really good special because of the fact that how tanky she is. It's definitely her best damaging special, which does not take a lot of turns. Her slotted skill is R Duel Flying, which gives you plus 5 HP, and it's only relevant for arena. It does count your red flying unit as a 170 BST unit, and because of that it's only relevant for arena and for the people who want to increase their score. And her slot B skill is Chill Attack. With her really high bulk, Chill Attack is definitely fantastic, and she's going to be targeting a lot of armor units with sky high attack with this skill. Now this is definitely a useful skill for her, but the thing is that Laegjarn can run a lot of slot B skills in place of this. So she would benefit much more from Chill Attack on a support unit like Marth as an ally than she would by running this herself, but still for a budget option, it's definitely really nice. Her slot C skill is Distant Guard, And Distant Guard is only really useful for mixed or full infantry teams, because on emblem teams you could just use ward buffs, and Distant Guard is best used when you've got a lot of distant counter teammates on your team. I would still rate Close Guard over Distant Guard, but Laegjarn comes with this premium skill, so that's definitely nice. And for her IVs, Attack Boon and Speed Boon are definitely the best one. Defense Boon is also really nice if you want to run an enemy face skill set on her, and minus resistance is the perfect bane for her, and minus attack is the worst bane for her, so please try to avoid that. Laegjarn does not have a lot of attack to begin with. It's really average at base 32. Her speed is really nice, it's really high, so even if you get minus speed IV Laegjarn, it's not really as bad as minus attack in my opinion. And overall, she's a solid, powerful, tanky flyer with a legendary weapon that is situational, but with the increase of wave and tactic skills usage, and also these new power creep rally skills, it's definitely relevant for arena. If you get extra copies of Laegjarn, you could of course use her for the new slot skill, R Duel Flying, for increasing the score of some of your merged flying units. The best candidate for this is of course Shida, because she can appear at 3-star and 4-star rarity, and she's a pretty popular merge project. She also has a good weapon refine, and she has got enough resistance to ploy reliably, and she can also run wind sweep, so basically she can attack enemies, do some nice chip damage to them, provide the ploy support, and basically do her job as a cheerleader in this cheerleader metagame that we have now because of the arena changes. So because of that, she's an amazing user of this skill, and it's a really great option for a lot of free-to-play players. And of course, the second and the third options are not really available for free-to-play players because it uses a 5-star exclusive dancer, but still you're going to be seeing these quite a lot in higher tier arena with R Duel Flying skill. And if you do not really care about arena scoring or these dual skills, then you could also use her for chill attack. Now, like I said, chill attack can be used on support units. You do not have to run that on an enemy phase unit or a bulky unit, because there are definitely really amazing enemy phase options for them to run on slot B, like Quick Riposte, Guard. So you can definitely run this on a unit who has got flexible slot B skill like Lilina, or a support unit like Marth or Titania. Titania is especially really nice because she can provide the rest tactic and defense tactic support, and also provide the chill attack debuff. And you can also use her for Distant Guard. Now of course, Marth and Titania are not going anywhere because they are fantastic support units, and Titania can give rest tactic and defense tactic and stack that up with Distant Guard. But New Year's Azura is also a really good mention of this, because her default weapon does give plus to defense and plus to res to allies within 2 spaces. So you could stack that up with Distant Guard and maybe run something like res tactic on a mixed team.
No pity.
The first build is a budget build with Fury, and it's really good for increasing her offenses and her defense. Laegjarn has got amazing speed to use Desperation, so you should definitely run that if you can. And because of her high defense and Fury, it's pretty easy to enter the Desperation range. And her next build is using Brazen Attack and Defense. Now Laegjarn is already quite fast, and if you're going to be using her on a Fire Emblem team where she's going to be getting Goat Flyer's buff, or Hone Flyer's buff, or even something simple as a Hone Speed support, then she could definitely make use of Brazen Attack Defense and focus on those 2 stats. And her final build is an enemy face build with Slaying Edge over New. Laegjarn does have fantastic defense and pretty good speed to avoid doubles, so you could run something like Speed Defense Bond from the free copy of Ethylene that you have. And everyone does get 2 copies of Ethylene, so you could definitely make use of her. So because of her speed, she can definitely prevent some doubles, and she's going to be extremely tanky with close defense and a slot A skill, and also her 40 base defense.
My name is that of my blade.
Laevatein has got extremely high base attack but low base 31 speed. Her default build tries to salvage this speed with Fury and Odd Spd Wave, but still, it's on the lower side at base, and her playstyle is more about getting one-shots with her massive attack and her blade weapon, rather than trying to double a lot of units. And if she can double, then that's a bonus, but your best bet is sticking to getting one-shots. She's got good physical bulk, which makes her capable of being used for enemy phase builds as well, which we will take a look at in a moment. And for her IVs, attack and speed are the best boons obviously, and minus resistance is the best bane. And even if you get a minus speed Laevatein, it's not really all that bad because she does have base 31 speed. Now minus attack IV is definitely the worst one. She comes with Laevatein, which is a blade I guess, instead of a blade tome, and it is essentially a 19 might blade weapon, which is definitely insane with her already high base attack. And if you get something like plus attack IV, she's gonna be hitting extremely hard and she can one-shot so many things. And she also has Swap as her assist skill, which is definitely pretty good with attack, defense, link. And then she's got Fury as her slotty skill. Definitely pretty nice if you're trying to salvage her speed, and it does increase her defense and her attack as well. And attack, defense, link is her slot B skill. After Sumiya, she is the second unit who has got the skill, and this gives her +6 attack and +6 defense, which is insane for a blade weapon user. And with Odd Spd Wave, she can give herself the speed buff to salvage her speed, and that's another bonus for her. So she's very self-sufficient, and she can also provide the team support when she's not going to be attacking anyone with her skills, which is definitely nice. And overall, Laevatein is a powerhouse with high attack and a blade weapon. Her speed is low and she's in a bloated pool of infantry sword units, but she's unique and there isn't really any physical blade weapon user in the game other than her. Now, her blade weapon might seem less scary than a blade tome because blade tome can attack at range. A lot of melee range units do have less resistance on average compared to defense, and a lot of people do like to take minus resistance as their bane on a lot of units, so that definitely gives the edge to a lot of the blade tome mages. But still, Laevatein is nothing to scoff at because of her high attack and this blade weapon, which gives her +3 attack and has no special cooldown penalty like a normal blade tome. She comes with the most synergetic base kit out of the units from this banner, which makes her building really easy, and you're going to be seeing a lot of budget builds. And if you get extra copies of Laevatein, you could definitely merge her, or you could just fodder her off for attack, defense, link, or Odd Spd Wave. And here are some good recipients of attack, defense, link. Now, whenever a link skill is going to get mentioned, Legendary Lucina is always going to be there because she will not be able to waste a turn with her assist skill like other units, and she can refresh herself with Future Vision, which is definitely amazing. And another good user of that is Legendary Ephraim. His slot B skill is rather flexible because he can double with Flame Segment. You can just reposition him into the range of the enemy and then he can destroy them with his Gale Force Heavy Blade build. I've mentioned Chrom here because you could run attack, defense, bond and stack it up with attack, defense, link, and also use the bonded falchion to give him even more buffs in the enemy phase. And a unit like Walhart can also use attack, defense, link with something like Smite. It is definitely a bit gimmicky with Smite, but you can certainly use it with a link skill because you'll be able to send off units into the range of the enemy. And with a unit like Walhart who wants to maintain a distance from his allies because of the Wolfberg, Smite is definitely useful. And finally, we have got support units like Marth and Titania who can run this link skill, and you can also fodder off her for Odd Spd Wave. Erica is definitely a merge project that a lot of people work on, and for that you could definitely run Odd Spd Wave on her slot C. And because she can copy buffs with her Siegler Refine, she will essentially get +12 speed, which is definitely insane. And Ira and Marth, because of having specials that do damage based on speed, Odd Spd Wave can definitely be run to increase their damage output.
Weapons do not think, they act.
Laevatein has got fantastic base kit, so you're going to be seeing a lot of budget builds. The first one just includes Glimmer and speed +3 added onto her base kit. Glimmer is fantastic with a blade weapon user, and her second build is with Death Blow. If you want to maximize her damage output and one-shot potential, then you could definitely run this, especially if you've got a minus speed IV Laevatein, which makes it even harder for you to salvage her speed. And you can run attack +3 Sacred Seal, and you can even run something like Heavy Blade for faster glimmers. And you just have to run her with something like a Rest Tactic ally, and she's going to be getting fully buffed and she's going to be hitting insane with Death Blow as her slot A skill. Her next build uses Desperation. Now, because of Odd Spd Wave, Fury, and a Speed Sacred Seal, you could definitely try to salvage her speed and she can reach a respectable 43 speed. And her fourth build is with Vantage. She already comes with Fury and she's got insane attack, so with Vantage she can take out a lot of units in one hit. And you could also run Auto Attack Wave as slot C skill, but because I'm trying to have this as a budget build, I've just put Odd Spd Wave on her. Still, it does put her at 40 speed, which is pretty good. And once again, you can just run Heavy Blade Sacred Seal to get faster glimmers. Her fifth build is Enemy Phase Skill Set. Now, this is assuming that Silas from the Norian Dusk banner gets demoted, and we're going to be having easy access to Steady Stance. You could run that with Attack, Defense, Link, and she's going to be having 46 defense in the enemy phase and a pretty decent speed at 37 with her Odd Spd Wave. And with Glimmer and Quicker Post and all of these buffs, she's going to be a very explosive unit in the enemy phase. You just have to watch out for Panic Ploy because she's going to be having a lot of these buffs on herself. And the next build is an expensive build, and we are pretty much done with budget builds. So this uses Special Spiral from Levin, and because she is a Blade Tome unit or a Blade unit, she doesn't really have these special penalties, so she can use Glimmer, which a lot of the vanilla Blade Tome units cannot, unless your name is Green Olwen or Odin. So she can use 2-turn Glimmer, use Special Spiral, Death Blow, Odd Attack Wave, hit incredibly hard for one-shots, and you can run Heavy Blade Sacred Seal over Attack +3 for a quick Special Spiral setup in one combat. She's got really high attack, and this build is honestly so insane when it comes to one-shots. It's just very expensive. And her next build uses Steady Breath. With Steady Breath, she's going to be able to retaliate back with an instant Glimmer when she's got buffed up with Attack, Defense, Link, and Odd Spd Wave. And if something does not die, then she does have Quick Riposte Sacred Seal to make the follow-up attack. And if the enemy can double her, then she can actually trigger Glimmer twice in the same combat. And with this, she can actually kill a lot of blue units as well. Now, you can always run Close Defense Sacred Seal over Quick Riposte if you just want to minimize the damage that you're going to be taking. And once again, watch out for Panic Ploy. And her final build is a Distant Counter Vantage build. Now, because she's got such a high attack, she can one-shot so many range units. Like, there are not a lot of range units who can survive a hit from her when she's got buffed up with Odd Attack Wave, and if she has got Glimmer ready, which she'll be able to do a lot with the Heavy Blade Sacred Seal. So it's definitely recommended to use her with support allies who can give her the Rest Tactic, Defense Tactic buff, and also the Speed buff, so that you can have max damage from her blade weapon for max one-shots. But still, Razzle Dazzle healers, Wind Sweep, and Fire Sweep bow will be annoying.
The name's Helbindi. Remember it.
Helbindi has amazing min-max stats, fantastic mixed bulk, but low speed, and that leaves him open to many one-round KOs even though he has got really good mixed bulk. He's so slow that even some minus speed plus and merge armor units in Arena Assault can double him naturally. He also has a Super Bane in speed, which is definitely his dumpable stat, and he doesn't really have much to lose with such a low speed, so you could definitely go with this as his best Bane, and any boon is good on him, but obviously plus attack is better for more power. And he comes with Byleaster, a 16 might legendary weapon that gives him and his allies +4 to all of their stats on odd turns, and this makes him a really fantastic buff bot with a blade weapon user like Laevatein or even someone like Nino. He's a really good teammate, and he also comes with Infantry Pulse, which makes him a really good support unit for your team, especially if you run his default slotty skill, which gives him +5 HP, and he comes with Vengeance as a special. Vengeance is not really all that good of a special, but he does have decent HP, so it can work out. But in best case scenario, to get most damage out of Vengeance, you have to be on 1 HP, and he does have a better option in Bonfire as a special. His slotty skill is Green Duel Infantry, pretty similar to Laegjarn's slotty skill, but this one is for green infantry units. Once again, only really relevant for arena scoring, and I'm going to be going over some of the recipients of this skill later on. And his slot B skill is Guard. Really wish he came with Wrath, just like how he has got Wrath in pretty much every single story chapter he has appeared in. Wrath would have been really good and would have made him a better fodder unit. And Guard is not exactly a premium skill, but it's fine. Because he's gonna get doubled a lot, so this does prevent specials, and this could certainly reduce some of the one-round KOs. Infantry Pulse is pretty nice with his HP and helps him support units even more, and he's a really good support unit honestly, and also self-sufficient in a way because of Byleaster. He's got a really good min-max stat, but because of his slow speed, he's gonna get doubled a lot, and it's both a blessing and a curse because he'll be able to charge up his special by getting doubled, and because he's gonna get doubled by even like the slowest units in the game. Now if you do get extra copies of Helbindi, you could certainly use him for Infantry Pulse. Just give it to any unit who has got like 46, 45 or even higher HP. It is pretty easy to get with Weapon Refines now, as a lot of the Weapon Refines do give you +5 HP upon refinement, so that can be really useful. And Green Infantry dual skill is definitely much coveted skill, and here are some good users of that skill. Now these are just example of some of the free-to-play friendly units who can appear at 3-star and 4-star, which a lot of people can invest into as their merge projects. Soren is definitely the best unit for this because he can have dual chill skills because of his Winds brand and his slot B skill, and also run dual ploy. So in this cheerleader metagame for arena, he's an amazing cheerleader, and you will have to refine his weapon for reliable ploys, but you could refine it again for the special effect for the Winds brand if you want to use it for some other in-game content. But for arena, for cheerleader, Res Refine is definitely nice. And then we've got Raven, another unit you could invest into. Basilicos makes him hit really hard, and he can basically stop his own doubles with Wind Sweep, utilizes amazing speed, and safely weaken units with Wind Sweep and Poison Strike, and basically set up kills for your bonus unit. Same goes for Nino. Nino does not really have overwhelming power like Raven, and you will need to run Ground Owl over a Blade Tome if you want to increase their speed, because we're not really going to be running something like Fury or Swift Sparrow to increase their speed. And these are some of the non-free-to-play units. Both of these units do have legendary weapons, which allows them to score really well, and they both can use Ploys because of their good resistance, and Sharina, because of her Moon's Egg, is able to provide great chill support, and you can combine that with another chill effect like Chill Defense from a Wallheart and run dual Ploys for team support. And then we have got the Dancers, the Green Dancers. We have got 3 of them, and you're definitely going to be seeing these in higher tier arena. And Performing Arts Azura does have U-Drawer, which gives buffs to all of their stats after she uses Sing, and Alencia is able to use Smoke Dagger to apply the buffs very safely with the help of Wind Sweep, and basically support your bonus unit. And then we've got Performing Arts Inigo. He doesn't really have a niche like Azura, and without Triangle Adept, he cannot really touch any sort of higher tier arena units with his low attack. But in case you ever get to attack with him, you could certainly use the Breath of Life effect to heal up your bonus unit here and there, and use Wings of Mercy, have attack support with Attack Tactic, and drive attack.
Out of my way, filth!
Helbindi's first build is, I guess, a budget build, but in case he does not get demoted, or if you're not able to get your hands on Steady Stance, you could just run Fortress Defense or his default Green Duel Infantry skill for his slot A, and just run Quick Riposte as a Sacred Seal, and give Bonfire over Vengeance and give him Assist skill. His second build is a Brazen Vantage build with Deflect Melee Sacred Seal and an Even Wave skill. So Helbindi can reach really high defense and attack with the help of Brazen skill, and use Vantage to one-shot units. And because his weapon gives him bonuses on odd turns, he can use an Even Wave skill like Even Defense Wave from Silas, so that he can get the defense buff always. And his speed is so low that he will always get doubled, and Vantage will allow him to strike first before the enemy can attack. And then the enemy's follow-up attack, their second hit, which they're going to be getting after doubling him, is essentially counted as a consecutive hit. And Deflect Melee does reduce the damage of that by 80%, and this definitely increases his longevity with his massive defense. But if you do not want to upgrade the Sacred Seal, it's definitely understandable. Then you can just run something like Close Defense. And his third build is a dual ploy build with Fury. So if you get a minus attack Helbindi, and if you still want to use him, you can definitely salvage him as a support bot pretty much with dual ploys. And even if you do not have minus attack, this is still a pretty good build that allows him to support your teammates. His fourth build is with Steady Breath, and once again Even Defense Wave, and this allows him to reach really high defense and proc Ether in every round because of his low speed. And his fifth and final build is with Distant Counter. So because he's got really good resistance, he makes for a great candidate for Distant Counter, and he can certainly increase his value even more with his weapon and something like Distant Defense. And if you want to be even more premium, you could definitely run something like Even Res Wave or Even Defense Wave. Overall, this banner has got solid units. Obviously, none of them are gonna get demoted. They all have useful skills, and they all have a role which no other unit has or is able to do to the extent they are able to do. And the best unit out of this banner is definitely Laegjarn, in my opinion, followed by Laevatein and at last Helbindi. And this is a month-long banner, so it's always better to scout out for banners. And we're going to be getting a new legendary banner this week, so it's really good to scout before you spend all of your savings. But if you really like these units from the story, then you should definitely summon for them. These are, of course, really solid units. And that is pretty much going to be it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and share this video with your friends who are trying to build up these units or trying to summon for these. And if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.